How's it going, everybody? Welcome to 2A News Now. And as always, here at 2A News Now, you get your Second Amendment news, straightforward and to the point with no BS added in. I'm sure you're all aware of the 5 different Americans over the course of this year have traveled to the Turks and Caicos. And when they were going through the airport to go back to their homes, searches of their individual baggage showed they had a few rounds of stray ammunition in their luggage. Turks and Caicos has very strict gun and ammunition laws. And these 5 Americans were facing years in jail, not for bringing a gun to Turks and Caicos, just for having a few stray rounds of ammunition that they forgot was in their luggage. And now Turks and Caicos has done an about-face, and the government has repealed the mandatory minimum of up to 12 years in prison for firearms offenses, which includes ammunition. The Turks and Caicos Parliament unanimously agreed to revise the ordinance after they got a shit ton of flack from American lawmakers. And what really helped the situation out, a congressional delegation flew to Turks and Caicos to personally appeal for the U.S. citizens' release. And the change came just in time for one of the 5 people charged. And his name is Ryan Watson, and he's from Oklahoma. And he was one of the 5 Americans that were charged recently by Turks and Caicos. And Watson had been there since April. And like I said earlier, all of these 5 people in separate incidences, when their bags were searched at the airport when they were going home to the United States, they found just a few rounds of ammunition. Like I said, not a firearm, a box or boxes of ammunition, just a few rounds. Before the law changed, there was virtually no flexibility with the charges, as well as the mandatory minimum sentences. And the new law acknowledges not all cases are alike. And now the judges have the availability to consider all the factors and sentence offenders in an appropriate manner, and to differentiate people that are actual threats from people who just made a mistake. And according to reports, the top prosecutor in Turks and Caicos, who was the one who pushed for the revision of this law, Mr. Watson said that the few rounds of ammunition left in his luggage were from a previous hunting trip. And of course his intent was not to bring ammunition on his vacation. Unfortunately, one of the Americans had to spend 100 days in jail, and he had to pay $6,500 in fines before he could come home. Another elderly gentleman from Texas pleaded guilty to having 7 rounds of ammunition in his luggage. He's still waiting for his sentence, but he was allowed to return to the United States because he became very ill. Another American was allowed to come home in May after paying a $10,000 fine. In these cases, the punishment didn't fit the crimes. And thank goodness we had a delegation go down there and have a serious talk with that government. And I know for sure that helped out tremendously. Let me know your thoughts about today's video in the comment section down below. And if you guys would like to help the channel out and help it to continue to grow, please just take a few seconds of your time to like, share, and subscribe and hit those post notifications. I really would appreciate it. And I invite you to come back and watch my next video.